Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 cartridges that get the biggest velocity jump from when you do factory ammo and you switch it to top velocity hand loads. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We're going to look at cartridges that go from 0 to hero real quick. Now, before I show you the 5 cartridges I've picked, I just want to show you the criteria. It wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't write something down on a piece of paper, so let me show you that real quick. In this video, I really only have one criteria, and that is I'm looking for cartridges that you're going to see a velocity jump of over 100 feet per second. In general terms, most cartridges, with maybe exception to the Weatherby cartridges, are going to see about 100 feet per second boost in velocity when you hand load compared to factory ammo. For example, the 30-06 would shoot a 150 grain bullet around 2,900 feet per second with factory loads. And you can hand load that to around 3,000 feet per second. Okay, so I'm looking for cartridges that are going to have over 100 feet per second jump. And then just a few things I want to mention as we talk about this. Just because you can get the cartridge to go ridiculously fast doesn't mean it's going to be accurate. In a lot of cases, your top velocity load probably isn't going to be accurate. If it is, awesome. You get the best of both worlds, right? And then, of course, there's exceptions in factory ammo. For example, Hornady makes Superformance ammo that will match your high velocity hand loads. But I'm looking at most ammo, not kind of the exception to that. So let's get into the list. The first cartridge on my list, and barely making my list, is the 270 Winchester Short Magnum. This cartridge with a 130 grain bullet, and most factory ammo is going to be a little over 3,200. A lot of them are going to be higher 3,200 feet per second. So that's why I say it barely makes this list, because let me show you what you can hand load with the 130 grain. The velocities that I'm going to be using specifically are from the Nosler reloading manual. So let me just go ahead and move the case and let's get to the 130 grain. All right. So as you can see, even the slowest velocities are some of the higher ones in the factory ammo. And as we get a little bit higher, we are pushing almost 3,400 feet per second. So yeah, it gives you roughly a little over 100 feet per second in most cases. The one I was using, almost 200 feet per second advantage when you hand load it. Up next, I have the 6.5 284 Norma, and I'm going to be using a 140 grain factory load with the AccuBond from Nosler. And let's just see the velocity. The factory velocity is a very moderate 2,750 feet per second. So that's roughly around what a 6.5 Creedmoor could do, top velocity hand loaded. So let's see what the 6.5 284 Norma can do when it's hand loaded. I believe the 6.5 284 Norma to be one of the most underrated 6.5 cartridges. Everyone gets the 6.5 Creedmoor. If you want a little bit more power, you get a 6.5 PRC. But I think you're going to be surprised at how close this matches a 6.5 PRC performance. So let me just take you to the 140 grain bullet. Okay. So already at the very beginning, you're going faster than any of the factory ammo. And you're getting into 2,800 feet per second. Now you're into 29, and top velocity around mid 2,900 feet per second. So this gives you a 200 feet per second advantage over its factory ammo. The 308 Winchester, one of the most popular cartridges to hunt with and, well, to do anything with, is the 308. And factory ammo, it's not bad, but when you hand load this thing goes from being a little bit slower than a 30-06 to basically matching a 30-06 with certain bullets, of course. So in factory ammo, the 308 is going to be shooting a 150 grain bullet around 2,800 feet per second in a lot of its loadings. I just want to show you real quick what you can do when you hand load it with a 150 grain. Okay. This is the insane part. With a 150 grain bullet, you are almost getting 3,000 feet per second. So as I said, you're basically matching 30-06 with this specific bullet weight. There's not really much of a difference. And so, yeah, this thing is insane when you hand load it. At number 2 is the 300 Winchester Magnum. Now, right now, this cartridge is the most popular 30 caliber Magnum. And because of that, a lot of the factory loads are really watered down. This one's a bit disappointing to me. So what I like to tell people is if you're going to get a 300 Win Mag, you really should reload for it so you can get its true potential. So what do I mean by that? Well, the factory loads, a 180 grain bullet is the most popular bullet you shoot in a 300 Win Mag, and the vast majority of the factory loadings all go 2,960 feet per second, which is, it's okay. It's, a bit faster than a 30-06, but nothing crazy. Now let's see what you can get when you hand load this. Get into the 180 grain. Again, already it's way faster, or a little bit faster than any of the factory ammo. And look at that, 3,160 feet per second. A good 200 feet per second faster than what you can get in factory offerings. So yeah, if you're going to get a 300 Win Mag, please reload for it so you can get its true potential. At number 1, the cartridge that I think sees the biggest velocity gain when you hand load is the 22-250 Remington. For this specific example, we're using some Federal premium ammo with a 43 grain spear bullet. And the factory velocity is still really good at 4,000 feet per second, but you can crank this thing up really high when you hand load it. Let me show you. Let's just get straight to the numbers. So the factory ammo is using a 43 grain. I'm going to be looking at a 40 grain, and top velocity is 4,300 feet per second. For whatever reason, the CFE 223 really pushes this thing extremely fast. So a 300 feet per second advantage when you hand load these small little bullets. And the smallest bullet you can hand load is the 35 grain bullet, and it's getting velocities past 4,500 feet per second. Pretty insane.